The face that I need to say a lot before I kill the fucking race. You can tell by the way I rhyme, I can kill. Elevate to the top, cause my mind is real. So committed, nigga, my time is here. Giving it the brilliance, my grind is real. Give me your favorite rapper. Hello, kings, queens, and beautiful people. I'm here for part two of the hip hop, focusing on women and LGBT. So there will be a slight social commentary in here, but I'm still going to be referencing the music. The music that I'll be playing through this video is shout out to Mr. KYB, Element, and Up to Something as well. Now, in saying all of these things, women and LGBT in hip hop, I know I'm not the first person to do that. There's probably at least 1,000 articles on it, but let me give my try, at least the artists I like. And I want to give shout outs to obviously the more prominent hip hop artists out there, but also some of the smaller ones, at least ones I don't feel get as much attention. But here nor there, women in hip hop, kind of like a lot of the music industry even prior to the 90s, that there was always prominent female singers, artists, and such like that. Female rap didn't really start taking on till the 90s, I guess, but usually the main one a lot of us think about a hypersexualized, dominant, prominent female woman is probably Lil Kim, Foxy Brown, the likes of those. I mean, you still had Missy Elliott, you still had MC Light, you still had Salt and Pepper. I guess that was very sexualized, I'll push it. Like, there was, but to have somebody this hypersexual and be like, I'm in charge, you know what, I'm probably the main you fuck with, you know, I'm the main chick, basically. I'm in charge. That was a change up, as well as her talking about and loads of other people. I'll probably flash up a few photos here or there. But then by the 2010s, the only thing is with hip hop, as with certain aspects of the entertainment industry, though I'd say the players have changed, but the game hasn't. I have to find the original quote for that. The sort of misogyny, though the form it takes is different, is still misogyny. Now, that's not me hating on any male artist. I mentioned quite a few that I liked in the previous one, and we'll mention in the next video on 2010 hip hop. Stay tuned for that. But a lot of them, even rappers I like, have talked about fucking women, bitches, hoes, you know, things like that. You know, they're more of a prized commodity, like buying a fucking handbag than they are, oh, she cooks me a good dinner, she takes care of me. I mean, you occasionally have some songs that are right or die, or how I'm describing, but a lot of the time it's like, I got bitches, I got hoes, you know, things like that. However, there has been, at least towards the 2000s and definitely 2010s, there's been more prominent ones, at least being hyper feminine, sexualized women who don't give a fuck about being man or woman and who can compete on the same level as men. As anybody, it's not even about men or women at this point, anybody. Lady Liz Shore, Pink Sis Nokia, love her, check her out. I'll have a video coming up on that. Chica, Rico Nasty, Megan Thee Stallion, Doja Cat, Tara Whack. Um, all these artists. Now, obviously, they're influenced by a lot of other artists. Love her or hate her, Nicki Minaj as well. But I think the other dichotomy is like a lot of people will bitch about hypersexualized female rappers and some being more like strippers than actual rappers. And though there is a certain amount that are like that, sorry, Azalea, I forgot to mention as well. The truth is that the fundamental thing that's been true, at least since time itself, or at least advertising it as an industry has existed, is sex fucking sells. They do that for perfumes, they do that for clothes, handbags, hip hop videos, music videos in general. It has to have some sexual connotation if you want it to sell. Like, a woman eating an apple in itself is not sexy, but if you hypersexualize that, oh, people will buy that perfume up. Throw a nice six pack man with abs and everything, people will lap it the fuck up. I remember a Coca-Cola ad exactly having that. So that's the same thing. You're just, I guess some more sex negative feminists will argue that's playing into the same misogyny law, which is basically just misogyny against black women that has existed for centuries at this rate, but this is not a lecture. Um, that you shouldn't be perpetuating those same stereotypes. I guess the only difference is it's from the female perspective rather than the male's perspective. But at the same time, generally rappers or artists that don't talk about their sexualities and or in hip hop do not get as many views. Like Love or Hate, Nicki Minaj, Pills and Potions is not going to get as many views as Anaconda don't. You know what I mean? Like Megan Thee Stallion's. The granted, she was more popular when the song came out, the reeler probably is going to be more popular than Tina Montana. I couldn't really think of her least sexual song. That was the only one that came to mind. Like, I guess Rico Nasty's more of an exception, so was Lady Leisure. Um, You know, a lot of the artists I mentioned, though, I love them all in different ways. You know, some of them benefit from being hypersexualized. I guess the exception would be Tiroak as well, but it makes money. You shake your ass, you talk about your titties, you talk about your pussy, it gets you views. You know what I mean? That's kind of, I guess, the negative aspect of the music industry. To a certain degree, you have to sell your soul if you're of this particular level. And it is hard for female MCs. Not saying that there isn't a struggle in itself to get into this industry. Of course there is. But I'm just explaining from that perspective. Now, LGBT people, hip hop, that can be tough sometimes, especially if you're not very hypersexual or LGBT, especially because, oh my god, the amount of homophobia in the black community, be it US or internationally, it's a lot. I blame a lot of it on jealousy, like I referenced in my own video. Also referenced a bit of colorism, which I'll be mentioning later on in this video. So blatant trigger warning I probably should have put at the start, but I'll flash that later when I'm editing this. Um, these things have existed for a long time because I guess being somewhat effeminate or being somewhat gay, people get so uptight about, and I'm like, there's more to an individual than if they're effeminate or masculine. You know what's sexy? Having some confidence. You know what I mean? What's attractive? Having confidence and not giving a fuck. Uh, Now, there is more LGBT rappers out lately. Now, I didn't know all of them. I only mentioned two in the previous video. But, you know, you do have the likes of probably one of the most, like, though she does kind of play as well into the more bravado, being a lesbian hip hop artist. But there's also Princess Nokia, Snow the Product, Kevin Abstract, Big Frida. Shout out to Big Frida. Needs more rapping out here. You know, artists like that are there, but they may not be as big or prominent. Now, I'm not even saying their identities are a major part of a lot of the music. Not often, to be honest. Like Princess Nokia, shout out to her. I'll be doing a video later this month. You know, she she had a song called Tomboy, but that's the thing. It's like it's always, especially if it's male homosexuality. God, that's more doubt. Because at least you make female sexuality sexy. If you can make that shit sexy, that's okay. That'll either appeal to, well, I guess mostly male audience rather than a female audience, in that sense. So in due time, I'm gonna that is not sexy. That's not cute. No one's buying that shit. Or it's sort of a what? But I understand. There's a whole history to that that I'm not getting into because this is a hip hop video, not really a gender studies one. But it's always been like that. Now, some people, it has evolved. I think both as a society we're progressing, but also because I don't think people care that much. Most people have a gay, bisexual, or lesbian or trans friend out there already. So it's sort of just on to the next one at that point. But yeah, that's definitely something that will take time to change. Will change in general. And to be honest, a lot of black LGBT folks, black, brown, Latino folks. So, but they're even during civil rights issues. Stonewall was a total thing. You can look it up. Um, in terms of like fighting for LGBT issues, and usually we'll be the first ones to fight in terms of issues for other minorities. So I do find it a bit hypocritical to be bigoted towards one group, even though you yourself have faced that same bigotry. Like it seems non-cyclical, but that's a video for itself. But yeah, a lot of these MCs, like I mentioned, are good. They've started to step up level, and things are slowly changing. Will they change in total? Probably not. I probably will have a bit of sampling of music in the back of this video towards the end, but the colors and part of hip hop, that is something that has always plagued it, because a lot of the videos back in the day generally have more light-skinned women in them. Not necessarily white, but generally more light-skinned Latino-looking women, dark-skinned women. Not saying that they didn't exist, but they were generally the hypersexualized ride that dick model in the background. But that's always existed, and I made a video on it about 2 months ago, which I'll reference for a lot of this. But like I said, it always existed, even for the artist I mentioned, Lauryn Kim. Like, God love her, but like, and people always discuss whether she bleached her skin or not. Not really. Well, I think she's been using creams just to make it look lighter, but like, even she's mentioned a lot about the colorism she had herself inside, not feeling like she was beautiful. I thought she looked pretty fine beforehand. You know what I mean? But that exists and persists even within and outside of hip hop, though it's beginning to change with more prominent artists out there, as I've mentioned, some very dark skinned or not. Anyway, and a lot of these came out in 2010, which I'm happy about. Oh yeah, Coily Ray, that's another artist I forgot to mention. But women in hip hop, I think, will continue to be a thing and continue to shape hip hop as a genre and become more popular as a genre. That's facts generally, like the fact that it's such a global phenomenon, even in other countries, where even the girl groups have at least one or two rappers. That's power. That's power right there. You know what I mean? And I hope this evolution continues. And shout out to every female artist I've mentioned in this video so far. And I know I only touched lightly on each topic, but I hope it gave you an idea of at least how it has been for female MCs in this industry and how they've developed and come to grow and I hope they start grinding. Because hip hop is America in a nutshell. It is the American dream and will continue to be the Great Gatsby, the new money, the new age, unless something else comes along.
Nut up on his face, tell him mask off. Any bitch got a problem, we can match off. Shorty said she was real, tell that Mac off. Same city, same hood, bitch, you mad fraud. Fuck him in the telly, watch his belly, ayy. Asian pissed on a bitch like a Kelly, ayy. It's so hot, I took the party playing Nelly.